Welcome to Crantrak screencast number 3, dated February 20th, 2011. In today's screencast, we are going to show you how to add bed information into Crantrak. One very important thing to note with bed information within Crantrak is that it is kept separate for each year you maintain within Crantrak for a given marsh. It is done this way so that you are able to change bed information from year to year. For example, if you replant a bed and change the vine variety, you're going to want to keep track of that separately for each individual year. When you create the bed information, when you go from year to year, you are able to copy that bed information. So you are only typing the majority of that information in the first time and then copying it when you go from year to year. To get started adding bed information into Crantrak, we're going to click the Start button next to the task called Bed Information. This is going to list all of the beds that we currently have in Crantrak for the marsh and year that we have selected. To add a bed, we're going to go up to the Add button and click. That is going to bring up a screen asking us all of the basic information about the bed. We're going to type in its ID or description. We are going to select the vine variety. We are going to enter in the acreage, select the soil type, enter the year planted, and if this bed is producing fruit in the given year, you're going to want to check that box. This would be used, the producing fruit checkbox would be used, for example, if you had just planted this bed in that year and you didn't want it to be calculated into your barrel per acre average. Once all that information is entered, I'm going to go up and click the Save button, and that bed is saved into Crantrak. If I want to add another bed within Crantrak, I click the Add button again, and it is going to maintain some of the fields that you've selected from the previous add. So for example, if bed C16 was identical, except for say the acreage, it was 2.1 instead of 2.2, I will only have to enter in the ID and the acreage, hit save, and go on from there. Once you've entered in all your beds, you will see at the bottom of this bed list there is a summary which shows you your acreage and your producing acreage. So you'll notice that these are different. So I've got some beds that I've got marked as not producing. Once I enter yield information, it will show me the overall barrel and barrel per acre, including all acreage, and then the ones that I've got checked as producing, it will show me my barrel and barrel per acre. One thing to note, there's a column called producing in the bed list, and you will see this bed A4 is marked as no for producing. Once you're done adding bed information, you can click the Home button and go back to your home page. Some important things to note. If at any point you need to edit any of this bed information, you simply click the Start button next to the Bed Information task. Click the Edit button next to the bed you wish to edit. All of that basic information appears that you entered in when you created, and it also adds in the yield. If you change any of this information, you want to hit the Save button. After you make that change, a red indicator will tell you that bed information has been saved and you are good to go. If I click the Close button here, it will take me back to my bed information listing. Some other important pieces. The Filter button within this bed information listing allows me to do things like come in and only show me beds that are marked begin with the letter C. I click OK, and that would then limit it to all of my sea marsh. There are a number of other items that you can filter on. You can filter on variety and another thing called bed group, which we will get into at a further screencast. I'm going to go ahead and click the Home button, and that is it for Crantrak screencast number 3.